If you're a guy trying to get your body and health in order, there are 5 key health markers that you need to be dialed into. You need to understand where you are within every single one of these, and then have steps and action plans to incrementally improve them if you want to get in the best shape of your life. So here's what they are. What's going on? My name is Montel Harden, personal trainer, strength and conditioning, and sports nutrition coach since 2017. Over that time, we've worked with hundreds of men, helping them drop stubborn body fat, build lean muscle, and get healthier than they've ever been. And a large part of that is in figuring out what metrics to track. A lot of guys just track strength in the gym, and they track their weight on the scale, and they track what they see in the mirror. Those are pretty much the only metrics that they're looking at to determine how healthy or unhealthy they may be. And while there is some credence to all 3 of those things, ultimately, you have to be able to take a deeper look at your health to determine if you're making strides in the right areas and if you are on track to get to where you need to be, because your body is going to be a lagging indicator. The scale weight is going to be a lagging indicator. But what I'm about to give you now are metrics and their markers that improve quickly. And it's something that if you can get better in all 5 of these, you'll add years to your life. You'll feel better than you've ever felt. Your body is going to look and perform better than it's ever looked and performed before. And you're going to be extremely satisfied. My guy Sean is a perfect example of this. When we first started working together, he pretty much just tracked his weight and he tracked what his body looked like. And he was actually kind of thrown off with all of the metrics that we track and prioritize at first. But then he came to really enjoy being able to take a one-dimensional look at his body and then turn it into a 3-dimensional, 4-dimensional look at his body and at his health. And having that extra data helped him drop 70 pounds of body fat over 11 months time and reveal his abs. So he was able to make good progress. So I know that you will as well. First off is going to be testosterone. This is the hormone that makes men men. And I'm sure that you probably expected to see this one on the list, but you might not really understand what testosterone is. It affects your muscle mass, your mood, your libido, your metabolism. After about 30 years old, your testosterone declines at about 1% per year, which isn't drastic if you really think about it. But if you already have other things going against you, poor quality diet, low quality sleep, not exercising, you already might be plummeting that by 5 or 6%. So now you extrapolate the numbers, and that 1% that naturally occurs with age is going to be exacerbated by your habits. If you have lower testosterone, you might feel like first off, one of the clear signs is gaining body fat in areas around the trunk, around the waistline, around the glutes. If you haven't always held on to body fat in the area and you start to accumulate it there, that's a clear sign that testosterone levels might be dwindling down. Also, your mood, your drive, your ambition, like your mentality and your mindset really show whether or not your testosterone is in a good place. I recommend all guys get these labs anyway, just to see where you are. But you typically want to be between 300 and 1,000. I know that's a big range, but everybody's body is different in terms of what their personal feel good set point is. For some guys, they might need to be upwards of 900 in order to feel their best. For other guys, you might feel amazing at 530. So don't think that you have to have a high number. You just have to find the right number for you specifically. Contrary to popular belief, you do not need HRT, which I'm not demonizing HRT. HRT could completely help you transform your body and your health, and it might be something that you need. But don't go get on HRT before you start strength training consistently. Get in cardio 3 to 4 times a week. Start eating a balanced diet, high in protein, high in fiber, high in healthy fats. Like if you do those things, chances are you'll give yourself some good old natural HRT just through your habits and through your nutrition. So always turn the lifestyle dials first. And if you're plugging away for months on end and it's still not working, then maybe looking into HRT might be something beneficial. But testosterone is going to be one of the things that throughout the course of your life, you want to kind of have a check and balance on where your levels are, because it can typically coincide with where your health is. Number 2 is going to be fasting blood sugar. This one is huge for your insulin sensitivity and for your body's ability to actually drop body fat. If you're constantly tired, if you're dealing with cravings all the time, your blood sugar could be elevated and out of whack. And a lot of guys don't even realize that their blood sugar is ticking up. Want your fasting blood sugar to be under 100. And if it's higher, your body is probably not processing carbohydrate consumption effectively, which means that the excess carbohydrates that you're consuming, or carbohydrates in general, are eventually going to be stored as body fat And that's where you're going to get that stubborn fat that just won't move no matter how little you eat, because your body is not properly processing carbohydrates, and it's not sensitive to insulin in the way that it needs to be. So in order to get under 100, you want to cut back on the processed junk. You're going to have more protein and fiber in your diet, more omega-3s in your diet. Great for blood sugar levels, great for insulin sensitivity. You want to get active so that you can actually use the carbohydrates that your body has in its system. And take a 10-minute walk after every meal, please. If you could just do that one thing, I think we would cut high blood sugar, we would cut diabetes almost in half. If everybody would just make a habit of every time you eat, right after you eat, just go take a 10-minute walk. Use some of those excess carbohydrates that you had through that meal, and your body is actually going to respond a lot better to that absorption. And that's something I definitely think that you should add into the equation. 3 is going to be blood pressure. So heart disease is the #1 killer of men worldwide. American, Indian, British, Australian, Zimbabwean, Norwegian, doesn't matter. #1 killer of men worldwide. High blood pressure is a good warning sign that your heart is starting to have to work too hard, that it's starting to work inefficiently, that it's starting to be negatively impacted by your health. 120/80 is obviously where you want to be. And if you are higher than that, then you want to start strength training consistently. You really want to get a cardio regimen in place. And the reason that cardio is so valuable for regulating your blood pressure, because it gives your body small bursts, small opportunities to get an elevated heart rate. So now from there, your heart gains the strength to work harder. So now when you go back to a rested state, your blood pressure levels will actually be improved because your heart is now stronger. And that doesn't mean that you do the cardio and then just continue to eat whatever you want. You want to do the cardio and you want to change the way that you're eating. You want to strength train consistently, which is also great for the heart. You just want to get your body moving. You want to stress your heart in a strategic way, as opposed to stressing your heart on accident. I know it sounds weird and counterintuitive, but the stress of exercise will improve your heart health, which will dramatically improve your blood pressure, which will severely lower your odds of heart disease. And if you can lower your odds of developing heart disease, which is the #1 killer in men in the world, the chances are you probably add 10-15 years to your life. 4 is going to be waist to height ratio. You simply want to take your waist measurement and then divide it by your height. Ideal number here is 0.5. So that means that if your waist is over half of your height, that means you've got a lot of visceral fat buildup, which is the worst thing to have. You do not want that deep layer of fat coating your kidneys, your stomach, your liver, because that's what leads to the health issues like heart disease. So again, in order to get this number where it needs to be in a calorie deficit, eat high quality whole foods, strength train, get cardio in daily, get quality sleep, find ways to lower your stress. Like, everything comes back to getting your body healthier by doing healthy things, by building a strong, fit, healthy, athletic body that, you have endurance and you have mobility and your stress is low. Like, these things will across the board change your health. Last but not least is going to be resting heart rate. This is one of the biggest indicators for your overall heart health, maybe even more so than your blood pressure, but they do also kind of coincide. The resting heart rate is a direct measure of your cardiovascular fitness, and a lower resting heart rate means a stronger, less taxed heart. If your resting heart rate is lower, that means that your body does not have to work as hard to pump blood. And that means that our hearts only have so many beats in them. And the slower your heart can beat while still doing its job, the longer it is going to beat, theoretically. The faster it has to beat, the faster you get to that number that your heart has in terms of the amount of beats that it has in its life. The ideal range is between 50 to 70 beats per minute. If you're anything over 70, I want you to take this as a 5-alarm fire, and I want you to start doing an hour of cardio every single day until you get that heart rate under 60, preferably closer to 50. This is probably the most important metric on here to immediately change. And within a week, you might be able to get down 2 or 3 points on your resting heart rate. You also want to hydrate properly. You also want to sleep better. You also want to mitigate stress, because stress can elevate your heart rate. So you can be eating well, you can be training, all that stuff. But if you're constantly stressed out, if you're constantly overwhelmed, your heart is going to beat faster. And that is going to take days, months, weeks, years off of your life as well. So we want to make sure that we're taking ourselves out of stressful situations. I know as men that it's easy to just think that we can shoulder everything and that we can do everything and we can handle everything and shit. But I promise you, heart disease is the #1 killer. And one of the biggest causes of heart disease is high unmanaged stress. So understand that you're not Superman, and I'm preaching to the choir here. You're not Superman. You don't have all the answers, and you don't have to have all the answers. If stress is something that's a big part of your life, you want to make sure that you find ways to get out of those stressful situations, mitigate those stressful situations, so that you can get the health and the body that you want and need. So that's it. That's all the 5 health metrics that you need to be tuned into in order to make sure that you get your body and health where you need it to be. There's more things at play than just the weight on the scale and just the way that you look in the mirror. Health metrics are huge for your longevity, for the way that you feel, and then how much you weigh and what your body looks like. If you can get all of these in order, you're going to be very, very satisfied with where you end up. But that's it. Hopefully you got value from this. If you did and you're like, hey, you know what? I know that my stuff's a little out of whack, or, I honestly just don't really know how to approach my health in the way that I need to take it seriously. We can help. Click the first link down in the description. Take our transformation quiz, and we'll help you figure out exactly the training protocols, the nutrition protocols, the recovery protocols, everything that you need in order to get your body and health where you need it to be. We'll help you figure out exactly how to get it done, and then walk with you side by side till we get you in the best shape of your life with new and improved habits to stay there forever. So that's it. That's all. Like this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn notifications on so that you don't miss any more uploads going forward. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.